Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Horror. This is the show where we discuss the horror movie of the week. And this week, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You were cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, that was so weird. I'm sorry that. Yeah, I just had something weird happen to my internet. Yeah, we're having some internet issues back here, but yeah. Anyway,
You don't say.
yeah, this is an odd evening. So yeah, tonight we're discussing Evil Dead 1 and 2. And I want to thank you all for being here. Anyone watching on the replay, thank you as well. And tonight we have a special guest, superfan Adam Shawhan. Thank you for joining us. And how are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. Thank you. It is an honor to be here. I am so happy. Long time listener, first time caller. So yeah, this is exciting. I love these movies. You know, they are some of my favorite. So yeah, thank you for having me. You said it's an honor to be here.
Yeah,
And you know what? I wanted to mention, Trina, is Adam had let me know that he put on his special short bus helmet for this one and everything. That's how special it is to him, and we are so appreciative of that, Adam.
You're very welcome, Tommy. My nibbler.
Well, Tommy, before we lose you to the internet gods again, how's it going?
Yeah, really. Like, holy shit, what the hell is going on with this internet? It's been nuts for, 7 years almost on my part, but the past couple weeks has been absolutely horrendous again. And CenturyLink, you suck balls. But yeah, always fun to be here to hang out with everybody. Posted a couple of a short video and a regular video trying to promote this thing because I think this is really a fun topic to talk about. This is a fun franchise. I really don't agree with the direction they're taking the newer ones in, but I love the old ones for exactly what they were. And yeah, the original one starts off horror and then starts leaning more into the comedy by the second one. And then it's just it's full comedy in the third one with a splash of horror in it. But yeah, these are fun movies to talk about, and I think they are so underrated. I think that Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi don't get enough credit for what they did with these movies.
Yes, oh man, I could not agree more. Sorry about that. And we also have Vinny. I am digging that background. How's it going tonight?
Hell yeah. Groovy. Yeah, I'm sorry, Tommy. I think I'm responsible for all the internet issues. I read from the book. I had to impress the chick, so I read from the book. No. No, I am definitely looking forward to this. Again, one of my favorite franchises. One of the coolest, I'd say hero, but, reluctant hero. He never wanted this job. And
Yeah.
I think that's partly what makes this so great. Again, I watched these movies kind of not in order when I was a kid. I watched Evil Dead 2 first. My cousin had brought it over, and he's like, "You got to see this." And we're like, "Holy crap!" And at the time, like, "Yeah, there's a sequel coming out soon," because there was rumors about the Army of Darkness one, but we were all like, "Well, what the hell? Where can we find Evil Dead 1?" Because it was very hard to get back then. But when they did finally put it on later on in Blu-ray and stuff, it was a little easier to find. That's when I watched that first one, and I knew it was going to be a different movie. So seeing it yet again, because again, I own them all. It's been a while since I saw the first one, but yeah, I actually watched it in another language, which was kind of hilarious. Because of the move, I misplaced where a lot of things are. So I'm like, well, let's see if someone has it. And I found it on Odyssey. Like, it was like in French, which was even more horrific.
I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out.
It was pretty great, but again, the movies are all awesome, and I mean, I do appreciate the first one. For what they did, and like Tommy was saying, it started as horror, and then they kind of eased into comedy a little bit by the second one. But there's just so much great stuff in there, and just the torment that Bruce went through especially with the second movie. And what they pulled off is glorious.
Yeah.
For, again, only their second film, and what they pulled off and what they achieved. They're still learning from this movie, believe it or not. Some directors and stuff.
Speaking of learning, you damn whippersnappers, have you never heard of a VHS video store talking about Blu-rays and DVDs? You know, back in the old days, kid, we used to go out to this place called Blockbusters, and we used to rent videos. That's where you used to find the Evil Dead movie.
That Blockbusters came a little bit later.
Yeah, I remember
these
that.
came out. Yeah, 2 was easier to find. 1 was very difficult to find.
I remember the little like mom and pop video stores, like the little local ones.
When I was in New York, the way they had it, you had to be buzzed in to get inside.
Oh wow! Well, New York, yeah. All right, real quick, let me say hi to the chat. Superfan Adam Shawhan was first. Hail to him on the panel and the chat. Mr. Pulp Noir, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Toy Mafia, nice to see you. He's saying hi to people. Solar Warden says spam. I think that's for you, Tommy.
Yes, and I did find new spam.
Tommy is leaving paw prints everywhere he's going. The Beast, nice to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Soul Assassin, mod extraordinaire. The Beast, I said hi to you. Oh, hey, Time Prophet, nice to see you. I think I've got everybody so far. So yes, thank you all for being here. It's awesome to see you guys. So yeah, I am so psyched to be talking about these movies because, like Vinny was saying, this franchise just absolutely rocks. Yeah. I'm a little bit the same as you, Vinny. When I saw these movies, my first movie was Army of Darkness, and then I didn't even know that it was a.
Oh, my heart! Watching these movies, I don't want my heart.
Well, it even gets worse. I didn't even know that there were 3 movies. So I saw Army of Darkness, and I found out, wait, there are 3 movies? Yeah, they're Evil Dead. It's called the Evil Dead series. And I was like, what? And so then I saw Evil Dead 2. And then people were like, oh, yeah, it's just a remake of 1. So I was like, okay. So I didn't bother seeing 1 for a long time. And then I did see 1. And to me, they're completely 2 different movies.
Yeah.
So, I saw Army of Darkness 3, and then 2, and then 1. So that was my introduction into this franchise.
She's like 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
Oh, holy cow! What a comment, Soul Assassin. Yeah, unlike most actors, Bruce Campbell isn't tired of being constantly recognized as Ash. Oh, Ash.
Yes.
He's toyed with that, to be honest. He's went both ways. For a while, he was like, all right, I'm just an actor. That was just my character, and then he embraced them again, which is kind of great.
He is awesome, because that reminds me of another franchise that I really love is X-Files, and David Duchovny got really tired of being typecast as the FBI agent, Spooky Mulder. And I could never understand that because I was like, how could you be tired of being such a successful, actor and, character? And then, finding out that Bruce Campbell is, never got tired of being Ash or this franchise or anything. It just totally warms my heart. I love him anyway. I'm kind of I would simp for Bruce Campbell.
I think we all have.
What do you mean would?
Yeah, that's true.
Do.
But
I would be careful simping for him because, as Vinny says, he goes both ways.
Yep.
Don't tell his wife that. But I think a reason why he gravitates towards his character and he does appreciate him is because of all the conventions that he's done. And there's so many amazing stories that happen because of this franchise. People who've they got together, they got married. He's married a bunch of people at these shows because I think he is ordained or something. But it's crazy. Just the history that's behind all of this and how much love there actually is for something that's supposed to be so evil.
Yeah.
So
The Time Prophet says Evil Dead Rise was a pile of poo. I could
It
not
was.
agree more.
Yep.
Let down.
I loved everything Evil Dead. The 2013 one, I appreciate it for what it was. It's totally different, and it was meant to be. And again, I think I've told that story before. Bruce said it himself. They were going to make a series of movies before the TV series happened, and he was going to do another one, and then they were going to do a crossover between her character and his, and it was going to be another book. Like, they had everything in the works, and it still did well at the box office, but not the numbers that they were hoping for.
Mhm.
And they ended up making the TV series, and they said, "Fuck it, we'll do something that's going to be mind blowing and give the fans what they want." And Bruce said it. He'll come back to do the character if Sam Raimi comes back to direct, and he did it with the first episode of the TV series. And after it was all done and said, I mean, I'm sure we're going to cover that on another stream, but when it was all said and done, and he's like, "Listen, you guys, you were bootlegging it. It broke records, the most bootleg series of all time. A big Game of Thrones, all that. It was a few people supported the proper way. We would have continued it." But he goes, "Again, I'll play the character if Sam Raimi will come back and direct." He said that recently.
But unfortunately, that's kind of leading into the newer generations where they want something for nothing, and unfortunately, that's what happens with a lot of these lower budget films and TV series. If people aren't supporting them, they just go the way of the dodo, and it's just amazing that some of these simple-brained little nitwits haven't quite figured that out yet. Like, why did this disappear? Because you didn't support it, dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker because they wanted to keep this going, and that's one thing I really, really love about Bruce Campbell is, and Raimi, they love the fans. They do this for the fans, and so that was heartbreaking when it ended because of not getting making the studio enough money to keep it going. It's just it sucks.
Bruce, if you're listening and you're still like joking around about continuing the series, don't joke anymore. Make it happen. Do it.
Yeah. We need entertainment that's good.
Yeah.
We need Ash to kill the Deadites.
And again, I do look forward to when we do hit the TV series as well, because holy shit, is it so much fun. And again, even if that's all we get out of Bruce and all them, 3 movies and then 3 seasons, and those seasons all of them were fantastic. There wasn't one episode that I was like, "Oh, this sucked." No, they were all great.
Yeah, we're going to be covering those.
Nice.
It's going to be fun.
Soul Assassin says a new comic series is going to be released soon for Evil Dead.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. I didn't know that.
Hopefully it doesn't go off these newer movies, though, that we don't like.
Oh, you're welcome, Time Prophet. And Time Prophet says Bruce played the voice on the record player in Evil Dead Rise, but it should have been in a cabin. Yeah. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I was more interested in the opening of that movie.
Exactly. After that, I was completely just disinterested about the rest of the movie. I'll be honest, I don't recall a lot of it except some of the blood and gore at the very end in the parking garage. That's about all I remember. The rest of it, I just kind of blanked out. I zoned.
Yeah.
I agree.
The garage was actually okay. It was like the beginning and the end, very end was okay. Everything in the middle was awful.
Yep.
Time Prophet,
unforgettable.
Yeah, definitely. Time Prophet asked, "Does anyone remember Evil Dead 4? I only saw it once."
We need Evil Dead 4.
Are you just joking? I never heard of Evil Dead 4.
There wasn't.
I just figured the series was 4 to me.
Yeah, pretty much, because the 2013 movie, that was its own thing. And then it was the continuation of Ash's story was the show.
Well, technically, even Army of Darkness is not listed as Evil Dead, even though it is a continuation.
Right.
Yeah, it's 1 and 2, Army of Darkness, and then the TV series. That's all of Ash's story.
What I always heard was that 1, 2, and Army of Darkness were considered the Evil Dead series.
Yeah.
But I always considered Army of Darkness like I don't know why it wasn't 3, because it picks up exactly where 2 leaves off.
Oh, it came down to the copyright stuff and who owned distribution rights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why they changed the name. Yeah, and Dino De Laurentiis was being a dick as well, because for the longest time, like they couldn't get, because they wanted to keep making more like, you know, the DVDs, Blu-rays, and all that shit, and they wanted to put it out in theaters again for short, limited times for like the anniversaries and stuff, and they were running into a whole bunch of problems. And I think it happened with each of the movies, but I think ultimately it's all under this one umbrella now. I think. I don't know 100%, but that was the reason why they changed the name of it.
No, see, Time Prophet just figured out that that's the one we already talked about, Time Prophet. 2013, we already mentioned that. It sucked. As far as I'm concerned. Vinny thinks it was a good horror movie. Yep. I think the movie itself sucked, and it was too heavy-handed with the agenda crap.
I wasn't getting the agenda shit in that one. The Rise, there was agenda all over it.
Yeah. Is that the one you mean, Tommy? The newest one?
No, 2013 too, because she was absolutely worthless through the entire movie, and then all of a sudden she's going to figure out how to do it at the very end. Like, I can do it now, and I just wasn't buying it.
That never happened. It was never I could do it now. She was shitting her pants the entirety of the way. It was just to survive. Like, she just fucking was able to grab the chainsaw and all that crap. But it was shit your pants moment throughout the whole thing. It was horror. That's what it was. Even the whole storyline that they had. I mean, that girl was detoxing and shit from the beginning. She was no hero. She was garbage, and I think that's partly why she got possessed. You know. So I don't know. To me, like I said, it was, especially the opening, that was really horrific and graphic. What they did with that.
So, Adam, do you have a favorite part of the first movie?
I mean, overall, I love the entire first movie because I think of it as a flashback, right? Or it's basically, you know, this is in my mind what happens. Ash comes out, he's on stage, and he's talking with you. So as he's talking to you, we're watching the first movie. Because, you know, having watched the first one, and then by the time you go to the theater and see the second one, it was kind of a nice recap, you know, because I'd already seen the first one. And then your mind, you know, what do you really remember? But so when you re-see the second, and then when you see the second one and the bits that did change, but I mean, overall, I think one of the best parts, it just has to be when the cabin's messing with them, because you never really were expecting that, right? You get the movie starting out, bunch of, you know, couple buddies, get in the car, they're going to the cabin. You see that cabin, you're like, all right, this is gonna be fun, you know. Who doesn't want to have some drinks with their friends? And kind of changes really quick, now doesn't it?
Yeah. It was really cool in that regard. That it was kind of like that simple kind of opening, but again, there was eeriness to it, like the whole thing in the beginning where they almost get hit by the truck.
The way it was shot, Vinny, especially just the, you know, the lighting, the way it was shot, the music, the way it played, it was just perfect.
You could tell that Sam Raimi, like, he was really, because I know it took a long time to do that first movie. It took like 5 or 6 years almost between getting the money in order to do that, because they were borrowing money from everywhere. Bruce talks about it in his book too, of his first book, the one, if Chins Could Kill, or something along those lines. But in that one, like, he broke it down, and like they were basically like getting money from local dentists. His father was the first person to donate some money for them. You know, they were all trying wherever they could get it. And the movie only got like a release in theaters of like 128 theaters. That was it. and it pulled in like 2.5 million. So those are impressive numbers. For something again where there's virtually like no screenings of it. 128, that's insane. But for what they did and how long it took them to do that, and it was still a really great cohesive movie. That's mind blowing to me. Like all of his shots worked. It was horror. He had like a spookiness to it. Things didn't get really insane until his sister Cheryl was attacked by the forest, and that whole scene was woo.
Yeah.
I have to say though, to answer your question real quick, what Vinny's playing, to me, everything you watch, but the second that this half happens here, and then the stuff that happens with the hand, I think that has to be by far some of the best, because you didn't know what was going to happen. You knew something was going to happen, but you didn't know what. And then by the time he's got to whack off his hand, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're talking about the first movie, I think there's a lot of things that people overlook because, we always talk about the continuity between the second one and Army of Darkness, but there were some really good moments in that first movie that they really didn't recapture when they did the remake with the second one. The utter hopelessness of not being able to get away when they go out through the woods and they go to the bridge and the whole bridge is just curled up on itself.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely no escape. And then you're talking about other simple things like when they're counting the card, guess the card, and she's just spitting out all the names of the cards before she even pulls them, and just the eeriness of it. Like stuff like that, I think is just truly amazing. What he did, he did more with less in the first one.
Yes. Absolutely, because you had to use more ingenuity, trying to make something work out of nothing like that. But I'll say one thing too about like the sequel. Had they done the moment where, because that's the tricky part of it. If they had like those people, again, the daughter of the archaeologist guy and all that and all them, had they figured a way to get them closer to the cabin before they did the bridge element, it would have had more of that, like, there's no way out vibe, but they were able to find a way even though the bridge was out. That's what I think, adding to what you said, the first one, there was more, complete, okay, we are trapped here, we are screwed in every possible way. But in the sequel, if people could find a way to get there, that means they could find a way to get out.
Right.
So I think, it does take a little bit of that away. Even though it's a cooler visual, like it looked like a hand inside that was curled up. Like there was still cool stuff, but like you said, it's some of the magic was lost between those type of moments. And
I agree. There's definitely a lot of horror atmosphere in one. It feels like a different kind of horror movie in two. In two, you get more blood and stuff like that, body horror type stuff. In one, it's more, you get more supernatural elements, and I feel like there's way more atmosphere. There were some things I really, really liked about the first movie that they didn't carry over into the second that I really wish they did. Like I really loved the way that they said, join us, in a kind of robotic, disembodied voice in the first one that was kind of not there in the second one. I don't have a clip of it, but the way it's like, join us, it just sounded so awesome. And
reminded me of the backlashing that they used to do on records.
I don't know what that means. I'm not a musician.
So on the old 33 records and even some 45s, if you would take the record and stop the turntable from moving and spin it in the opposite direction, they would have backlashing. What was basically, it was phrases and everything that were recorded backwards into the record, and they did a lot of that shit on purpose just to hide it in the record. But if you spun it backwards on the turntable, you might get messages like, join the devil or join us or weird shit like that.
Okay, yeah. Um, hey, DDDVR, Frankenstein Tambien. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Do I want Frankenstein? Or Frankenstein now? I don't remember Spanish, if that's even Spanish.
Well, it says Deutschland. That would be Germany.
German. But Tambien, isn't that Spanish? Oh man, I don't remember. Anyway, thank you for being here. Oh yeah, Paul is dead. Yeah. That's what you're talking about, Tommy, the playing the record backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the Beatles reference?
You'd just like summon the devil and all this kind of crap. But what was another thing in one that wasn't in two?
His sister.
Oh yeah.
I was bummed out by that too because she was fantastic in that first one.
Yeah, that's right. Because that was.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's why I was really happy with the TV series when they brought it back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was definitely missing.
Yep. Because she was great in there. Her scene was, again, that was super creepy and scary. Like, you've never seen anything like that before. You know, that whole thing with the forest. And then she was the first one that, like, you could say, I guess it was from the forest that she got possessed.
Yeah.
Because it just came out of nowhere when she was in the house. They couldn't get out anymore. They're in there, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she just rah.
Yeah. Yeah, Solo One and that. Yes, the Gate did that with that rock band that was in that movie. I can't remember the name of them now, but so Time Prophet sent me an awesome picture. Do you want me to show that on stream?
Oh, his cabin that he did?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah, I was yeah, I wanted to make sure it was okay with him. Hey, Frankie knows. How's it going? Thanks for being here.
Hey,
Hey, Frankie.
What up, Frankie?
He's I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Tambien is also okay. Yeah, see, I used to know those words. I don't remember anymore. Okay, so Time Prophet is saying yes, show the picture. So now I got to figure out how to do that.
you can do it.
Present.
You can do it. We believe in you.
It should be present.
Yeah.
And then you got to click on one of the windows that it's on. There you go.
You guys seeing that?
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, Time Prophet. This is awesome.
Nice. What is this for? What are you doing?
Well, he does a lot of 3D modeling.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, that's right. Didn't he say that in one of the streams?
Yeah.
He said it multiple times. Yeah, he's been around doing a lot of that stuff for a long time.
That is so cool.
Are you Time Prophet? Are you gonna like make this a physical object, or is this just for like on the computer?
What she wants to know is, are you going to do it in the scale of the NECA figure so that she can get one?
You know what? If there was a way to do that, holy crap. The size of the printer that you would need to print out a lot of those pieces.
You'd have to do it in
ridiculous.
sections.
Yeah, you'd be better off just building it. You know, Trina, I probably could build it out of foam.
You know, I've been thinking about doing one. We have
awesome.
Big Chuck. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. He
What's up,
says
Chuck?
he doesn't. What's up, Chuck? He says he doesn't remember the rock band in the Gate, but Fastway starred in Trick or Treat. Oh, okay.
I've never seen those movies, the Trick or Treat.
No, they're fun. They're fun.
What did they make? 3 of them?
I don't remember. I thought it might have been 2, but I really only recall the one.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well, there ain't no forgetting the first one.
Not to be confused with Trick and Treat or Trick or Treat, which is the one with Sam.
Sam,
Okay,
yeah.
maybe
I
that's
like
what I'm getting confused with.
I like Trick or Treat. Here's another. Are you guys seeing this?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Trina, if you decide you want to build that cabin out of foam, I can give you a rundown on what to do. But I will tell you this, because of all the planks that you would have to cut into the foam board, it would take a lot of foam, and it's going to take a lot of time.
A lot of
Oh
patience.
man.
When I worked at McFarlane, there was a guy who used to do that because we used to do the big photo shoots for the figures, and he would build all these crazy sets and stuff. And yeah, some of them were truly mind blowing. It's like because I helped them put some of it together too at a time. Great guy too. This guy, his name is Eric. But yeah, he went on to build a whole bunch of stuff for like other companies, like massive things. But yeah, a lot of it's like foam board, all sorts of different things, whatever you could kind of use to make it work. And then they had like a smoke machine as well. So when you set the lighting right and everything, like you could, they use it for a number of their figures since, with McFarlane, there's a lot of kind of spooky or dark figures and shit.
I have a few of those little mini smoke machines that you can buy, Vinny, where these things are super tiny and they fit right into like a diorama set like that.
Yeah.
They got the ones where basically what you do is got the heating element in it and you just put a little water in this dish and it just generates the smoke, and something like that could sit right inside of one of these dioramas.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Immortal Coil says no boomstick in this movie. Actually, he does get his boomstick in the first movie, but he doesn't call it that until Army of Darkness.
Right.
He
swapped it for the axe in the first one.
Yeah. He doesn't really become the Ash we know until the end of Evil Dead 2.
Yep.
When you think about it, because
El Jefe.
yeah, I eat your Jefe, Chief. Oh, okay. Solar Wooden's got it. So the band in the gate was Sacrifice, yeah. Okay. They were. I do remember that they were a real 80s metal band. Yeah, nice. Up in Canada, right?
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah. So back to. Did I miss anything?
Time Prophet was mentioning Ozzy Osbourne. Gene Simmons was in Trick or Treat.
Yep.
Oh, nice. I thought
and
I saw
Solar
that
Warden
movie.
says yes, Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah, I did know that. I knew Time Prophet played a little guitar. I remember you uploaded a video on Twitter once, or X as it's now called.
X.
But yeah, whatever that is.
X gonna censor you. It's gonna censor you.
Yeah.
You're gonna make Pop happy. Let's go X-Men.
So
it's Elog, so no.
Yeah, did you guys notice that in 1 and 2, the Book of the Dead has like a bunch of different names?
Yeah, it did. In the opening, when you hear the archaeologist dude mentioning it, doesn't he call it 2 different ones at that point?
Yeah. He
calls it by the Necronomicon, and then he also calls it by the Book of the Dead, because technically that's what the Necronomicon is. Because the Necronomicon is actually a real book. Like I have somewhere in my hordes of freaking books that I have, I do have a transcribed version of what was the original Necronomicon. And it kind of reads almost kind of like the ancient Egyptian texts read, where it tells you everything you got to do to go into the afterlife and the perils that you may face and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I think they were borrowing from that, but they turned it into something that was used for resurrection instead of other afterlife points that the original one was supposed to have in it. So
yeah, that's right. H.P. Lovecraft wrote the Necronomicon.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. Necro is Latin for death.
Yeah.
Yeah, Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Big Chuck says, I still have Trick or Treat soundtrack on cassette tape. Man, cassette tapes.
Oh yeah.
I miss that. Yeah, I have it written down in my notes what they first referred to, or what they did refer to the Book of the Dead as, besides the Necronomicon, and I can't find it in my notes right now. But yeah, I just thought that was funny that they had a bunch of different, well, I should say a few different names for it.
Yeah. And it was interesting too that they just had the book laying there in the cabin, like from that first one, like that with the tape recorder and all that.
Oh, that's in the second one. It's just out there like on a desk.
I thought it was in the first one as well, like that.
In the first one, it was down in the basement.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they find it down in the basement along with the shotgun and that's the Necronomicon, the shotgun. Right. Because remember, in now I'm getting confused.
I know that's the thing.
Getting Vinny.
In one of the movies, Professor Nobi says that he buried his wife in the earthen floor of the fruit cellar.
Right, that's in the second one, which was great. That was a fantastic surprise in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I think it's because you guys saw the second one first, so like you automatically, you know what I mean? Because you're so used to that being your first time seeing it. That's what makes this so great. I'm sorry, it's like there's no wrong answer because it's still great.
Oh, it's all amazing. And then the TV series when they revisited the Henrietta stuff.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I mean, I don't know. I got such a kick out of all this stuff. I really did.
Yeah.
But because the first one, it's his sister who they end up throwing down there, and she's through a big chunk of the movie. You just see her banging on the floorboards and stuff. When she got possessed, again, there was more of a creepy vibe to it because she's just sitting there mostly laughing and stuff. She doesn't really attack him until a little bit later. But when it first happens, she's just sitting there with that creepy smile and tilting her head at him, and but it's I love that whole scene too. That after he kills her, and the sister is she's busting out of the cellar, she keeps trying to break it, and then you see Linda, her eyes are opening at every time that happens. When he looks back at her, it's like she hasn't moved. The way that they did that, that was really cool.
Yeah, they did some awesome things with the first movie on a shoestring budget. They really did, and that what you were saying, it reminds me of when Linda was freaking out, and after wait, now I'm confusing his girlfriend with his sister.
His sister's the one that had the tree incident, and then they threw her in the cellar.
Yeah,
Linda was the one wearing all white.
Yeah, which one? What were their names? Which one was Linda?
Linda was the one in the first movie. She had more the puffy face, and Cheryl, she's the actress that she had a sort of a big nose, but she's the one that was had the incident again. She got raped by the forest. And then she was freaking out the whole time, and she wanted Ash to take her home. She kept saying it over and over, and then, that's when they went to the bridge, and it was all messed up. And then when they were getting back into the cabin, it was coming through the forest at them again.
Okay. Yeah, and okay, so when Cheryl is, they have Cheryl in the basement, with that door kind of chained. Shelly is freaking out, and she's like, why do her eyes look like that? And this is one thing that's cool, even though we all agree that it's a terrible movie. The Evil Dead Rise, the woman's eyes in that movie they made him look like Cheryl's eyes in the first movie, so that was a throwback.
Mm-hmm. But it was only partly because didn't they do it like with the kind of reddish orange ring around it later?
Well, it was obviously modernized, but yeah, they made it look like, yeah, they were going for Cheryl's look with her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's cool because really, Shelley really made a big deal about Cheryl's eyes in the first movie.
Yeah, which was
Paying
great.
homage to
And
that.
they could not see for shit in 1 and 2 when they did that.
Yeah.
Because you remember like, in the second one when Linda's doing that creepy walk towards him.
Yeah.
Like they said, she really was like trying to feel around for the air or what she could, hit or not hit because she couldn't see at all.
Yeah.
That's crazy too. She only did like I think one other movie and one TV episode of some show, and then that was it. The one who played Linda in the second movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. She was married to Steve Guttenberg for a while.
Gooch.
The Police Academy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because she was such a good actress. I don't know. She did a great job in that first movie, or the Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Because that whole thing when she's like cursing and yelling at him, and when her head's on the in the vice and all that, like there were so many cool moments. I don't know, but between both movies, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and like when he's losing his mind in the cabin and he's sitting in the rocking chair and her head falls in his lap.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome. There were so many amazing moments when he's breaking down like that when the cabin is screwing with them.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is the mirror scene because that looks so legit how they did it, and it was like a body double. We see the back of his head, and then they had Bruce who had extra prosthetics on his face from the mirror, and he grabbed them, and it's like, yeah, oh yeah, we're okay, sure, we just hacked up our girlfriend with a chainsaw.
Yes. Oh, okay. Real quick, I want to say, hey, Lion Ratton, thanks for being here. Good to see you. But yeah, about what you were saying, the mirrors. So that is awesome. Now, in the first movie,
let me finish though. Like, and then like, because he had his hands around his neck too, he was choking him, and then they pull back, and it was himself, and it was that whole mind, messing with his mind thing. That's what I truly love because it was. The shots were awesome. They were inventive, and then it all made sense too. Like how much, like the book and all that was just completely trying to destroy his mind.
Yeah, and that actually started with the mirror in the first movie because you remember when he goes to touch the mirror and his hand like goes through it like it's water.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like screams, and then he goes and touches it again, and it's solid.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, and so they kind of set the tone that whatever the evil presence is also like messing with your mind.
Oh yeah.
Which you'd almost would expect anyway, though, right? I mean, it's evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I can make you become a deadite by offing yourself, no sweat off me, off my page.
Absolutely. Yeah, that mirror scene, and then they take the mirror and they do it in the second movie, and that whole scene was amazing, and that was just so well done. Like we're talking, this is 80s. And that was so good. And I just love how we're seeing how like how just he's losing his absolute mind, and like he's looking at his mirror. I mean, he's looking at he's looking out the window and he sees Cheryl dancing, but it's the skeleton. And Soul Assassin, that the stop motion effects, those were awesome. I have that
And that's older technology too. I mean, that was stuff that they employed, like the what was that 1930 or 1940 with King Kong, where they were doing like that claymation type stuff. They were doing the same thing in the Voyages of Sinbad and a lot of those older movies like that. It's the same stuff. He was using a lot of outdated technology because they didn't have a very high budget to do this. But I think everything that they did in it 100% did work.
Yeah, absolutely. They made very good use of their budget, and it's just so well done. But I want to show Soul Assassin the Linda dancing because this is awesome. It reminds me of Tim Burton, which comes later.
And see, how do you know that she's truly one of the Evil Dead? Did you see that little mark of transgenderism right there? She was showing you how big her branch was.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh. Okay, Soul Assassin says they strapped Bruce to a board and spun him around for the close-up scenes when he's attacked by the entity. Oh, okay. Are you talking about the scene where, like in the beginning where he gets knocked down and then when we see him like come back up, he's Evil Ash? I love that.
There was a lot of really cool effects that they did. Once again, limited budget, but they really didn't need to go over the top with all the special effects.
Yeah.
Because it was, even though the story was pretty basic and fairly simple, I think there was still enough story there that it probably tops a lot of the crap that they're doing with some of these other bad movies that are coming out now. Because at least this did have a definitive plot line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just everything about this is so awesome. With the first movie, so we were talking a little bit backstage before the stream started about how there's definitely a difference in atmosphere between 1 and 2, not just like the horror difference, but how 2 you get comedy and stuff like that. And one of my theories about why 1 is more of a serious movie is because they had like really not great conditions to film in. They all slept in the same cabin. It was cold. They didn't have a whole lot of food. The budget was tiny. I mean, they were rookies, so you got to figure that they didn't have a lot to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking that probably played a part in not a lot of levity on the set.
Yeah, more miserable conditions, so it's going to be a more serious tone.
Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? We've all been underslept, and cranky, and now imagine actually having to go through what they're actually going through in the movie. Like you would be even more. Yeah. But I think a lot of it too is, to me, it's really like the first of its kind of movie. So as they're doing it, they were definitely learning. But what do you want when you're getting a story? You want good storytelling, and especially at the very beginning. So, I think that also had a lot to do with it. But I think the fact that the actors were, all crammed together like that, it definitely helped. And again, they weren't quite as famous back then either.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, it's not like we haven't heard other actors that stayed on couches and with, 3 or 4 of them with a friend in one bedroom apartment, or a loft even. They don't even have a freaking room,
Right.
So, or a bedroom. You basically have a living room and a little area that's a whatever it is and a kitchen, and that's it. So, yeah, I mean, I think it definitely, their struggle is a payoff in the movie.
Yes.
The way it was filmed and everything. So, and again, it was greatness. I'm sorry. This is to me, these are like a 10 out of 10, kind of a thing.
Yep. Absolutely agree on both movies.
Yep.
Yeah. But like Tommy said earlier, these are completely underrated. They really are. And, having watched them again like that for this stream, I'm sorry. It's even better again, having not seen it for a while. It's like, no, it's all those magic moments. It's like, this is what cinema should be again, especially these type of, again, horror and all that. It needs these elements, and a lot of it's just missing. It's like Tommy was saying, they rely too much on special effects and those kind of jump scare shits from that.
The Delta car, it was in so many different freaking movies and shows too.
Yeah, the Soul Assassin. So I saw you asked earlier, and I completely forgot to answer it. But Soul Assassin asked, "What do we think about the fan theory that Drag Me to Hell is set in the same universe as the Evil Dead movies because the Delta 88 is in there?"
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he did put the Delta 88 in all of his movies. It's in every one of them. It's even in the Wizard of Oz underneath one of the other contraptions. Like I think the machine at the end. Like it's in all of them, in all the movies. But that's what's hilarious and great about what Sam Raimi did, because it's like his lucky charm is what Bruce he always referred to it like that, and he goes. And Bruce goes, I think the only reason why he puts it in there is because I think he got laid in there for the first time. That's why it's his lucky charm.
Well, it's a good card. Do that in that thing. It's humongous.
Yeah.
Those old boats.
Yep.
Yeah.
It had leg room, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember reading about an interview that Bruce Campbell had with someone, and he said about the car that he had a love-hate relationship with it because he loved it because it was the childhood, and it's like it's associated with his success and stuff, but it's such a piece of shit car.
Yeah.
It's pretty badass in the series, though. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
That one episode where they really made it shine by itself.
Yeah, it's all about the car, baby. Look, I have wanted a Delta 88 because of him. Yeah. I mean, and again, I am literally right in the Michiana area, so I'm part of the Murder Mitten and the Indiana Boot. So it's like, man. It's like literally, I have woods. I think we should just build the real cabin out in the woods, and then, like Vinny, if you come for the event, you can sleep in the cabin.
Yes.
So, Trina, if you come for the events over this way, you guys can sleep in the cabin. You'll probably never move the fuck out. She's like, nope, this is mine now. Bye.
Yep.
Well, I'm not arguing with her. You move her.
Well, I always made that joke. If I ever hit like a giant lottery, like the billion, like one of those, I would recreate the again, not to live in, but just like to visit for Halloween and shit. I would build the Resident Evil mansion. I would do the pathway to Lisa Trevor's her cabin, and then I would do one off to the side and recreate the Evil Dead cabin.
Yes, absolutely,
which would
have
be fantastic.
You never know if I won the lottery when you came to visit my Castle Grayskull house. I'm just saying. with an actual moat and working jawbone bridge, you know. So yeah.
Oh shit! And I love this series too. I have so many connections to it, you know, from when I from being a kid to working at McFarlane, and like, you know, my hands were on the instruction guide for the 18-inch one on how to put the batteries in and all that. And then I got to meet Bruce. I got to have dinner with Lucy Lawless. I mean, just like, yeah, so much crazy cool shit.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, in the show, holy shit,
She was fantastic.
Hello, nurse. Yeah, right. Like, you ever want to know what Xena looked like topless? There you go, coming out of the ashy fire.
Yeah, she did that before she did Spartacus, right? Or
I do believe so.
I forget.
Could be wrong. It's been a minute because the Spartacus was the prequel one that she was in. Well, you know, when she was murdered.
Yeah, I don't remember when that was. When that one.
Yeah. See, I always was that asshole guy that would get it when, like, for that series, you know, there'd be the specific series. So Ash versus Evil Dead, I always, you know, for the series, I would get it every time. Black Sail, same thing, you know.
Yeah.
It was always, you know, Spartacus, you know. I would, you know, Game of Thrones. That's when I would just get it. I'd only get them when that stuff was going on. And man, back then it wasn't too bad because, you know, you'd end up sometimes with a little bit of an overlap and you'd get two of them, get to finish out watching one thing and then starting a new. And yeah, we're kind of spoiled these days with everything being at your fingertips, but I still think I would like to see the original reel to reel of this and us all be able to go watch it at a drive-in or even just a regular theater. You know, now if I win the money, that would be it. We're going to have a theater and then you guys just have to go get to the planes and then we're all going to get together and watch movies and film it. Be like, ha, bitches, we're actually here. But no, I mean, like, I just miss the non-digital film shit that we get today.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was trying to say. I really miss, you know, what we had back then, you know, when we saw these, for like you guys said, VHS tapes and stuff. You know, there's a big difference even with VHS and the DVDs of today, as we all know. But I do. The older I get, the more I miss the original version. You know, the record players, the LPs, and you know.
Well, it's kind of on the same subject as what Vinny and I were talking about before the stream started. I was saying, like, I was complimenting on how nice his GIF looks because that looks like a clip made from like probably Blu-ray or maybe even 4K. And I was like, that looks really good. And then we were talking about, you know, like the remastered versions and stuff. And I was like, I don't actually care about getting a movie, an old movie in a better quality because I kind of like how they used to look. And so a lot of times, like, we'll go like, you know, looking at secondhand DVDs and I'll just get them on DVD. I don't care about finding them on Blu-ray. I like the way they used to look.
Well, it's worse too because Any Which Way But Loose, with Clint Eastwood, one of my other favorite time movies. It wasn't filmed in Blu-ray. You know what I mean? These movies weren't filmed with a Blu-ray camera, so it's not a true Blu-ray anyway. You know what I mean? They're going in and messing with stuff and changing. So I mean, again, we're used to the VHS quality, and we love the Blu-ray and the DVDs and all that stuff. But VHS to DVD, I'm pretty sure was a little bit of a step up. But when you go from VHS to Blu-ray, the amount of stuff they got to do that, it's literally just like making a new film. And it really, to me, erases the original, you know, as we were saying, the way it used to look. I mean, I still have a VHS player and tapes. So, you know, I don't quite have the reel to reel anymore, but I did.
Well, the thing is, it's they all that stuff, it burns out and it gets worse over time. That's why, like, I did pick up things I really loved on Blu-ray as well because it'll last longer. Yeah. None of this shit's gonna last forever, but at the same time, I mean, at least, you know, you're still able to, that you have it. Because like I said, I misplaced some of the stuff when I move them. Like, I can't get to certain bins that have like all this stuff in it. So I did find like my DVD collection, and that's where I had Evil Dead 2. and I watched it on there. And yeah, I mean, it's a step up in quality, but it's not. Yeah, it's not like these super duper remastered. You can see every pore in a person's face type of shit.
Yeah.
Just imagine having to look at every pore on their face during that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say something specific, but I mean, I can't pick one. There's just certain scenes you don't want to see that, especially in the woods.
Yeah. There's some crazy stuff of it. Oh my god! I don't know. I love these movies, but yeah, the Henrietta scene to me was like that was one of the craziest things, and that was all Ted Raimi, Sam's brother, that was in that suit as Henrietta.
Yeah,
and,
you could tell.
What, man? I feel so bad for that guy. The shit that he went through to do that. They said every day that they shot, they were just pouring out when they took off like the rubber molds in his feet and all that, pouring out just the sweat. He was losing pounds every day.
Oh man.
Yeah, they tortured. He was more tortured, they said, than Bruce, because every chance that Sam had, he would torture Bruce. He'd hit him with the tree branches. He'd slam him in the face with something. Yeah, anytime there was like the puppeteering things or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, hit him harder.
Yeah, that's I can making a movie with your BFF.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
could you imagine all of us together doing a movie? And I'm serious, because we all have a bunch of big groups that we're all in. Yeah. I mean, but imagine that. Just imagine all of it. You know damn well you're gonna go. Oh well, it's my buddy. So hey, ETEP, catch.
Yeah.
It's right. What place are you in, Vinny? Not anymore.
But like even this scene though, like right before this, when he starts bashing himself with the plates over the head, and then he's like doing that whole acting where I don't know that you can really believe that like his hand was possessed. The way he was acting that out, and then how he flipped himself over. He grabbed the back of his own shirt there, his neck, and he flipped himself over his hair. Like, dude, come on. Jim Carrey ripped him off everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. This is so well done.
In better shape and not insane. So fuck Jim Carrey.
You know what? One thing I think a lot of people miss though is we don't give credit to some of the movies that came out before this that may have partially been inspirational for the start of the first movie. Think about things like Poltergeist.
Yep.
Yes.
And you're probably thinking like, okay, well, what does that have anything to do with it? Because the original Poltergeist was based on a disruption of an ancient Indian burial ground. Same thing with Amityville Horror. And that's what this one initially starts off with, a disruption of an ancient Indian burial ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that earlier because that when I remember watching it, I always thought that too, how it plays very well and like Poltergeist with, when the house is messing with them, when the mirror's messing with, it's like, it reminded me of the fucking clown scene in Poltergeist.
Yeah. There was definitely a spot where that's exactly what I was thinking of as well.
I got to watch that one again. It's been too long since I saw those.
Yeah, it's been. Hey, Halloween's coming up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting rather.
Well, hopefully they're going to be streaming somewhere.
Hopefully. One day, Vinny. One day you're going to be talking about how Through the Woods was. You and Frankie both were inspired by the Evil Dead movie.
I never said that I wasn't.
It's all your fault, Bruce.
I mean, like literally, yeah. When I first sat down and wrote that first issue, it was definitely in my mind. Good stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of awesome scenes, and you know what? I think some of the things that they did in those movies too, making use of like the small practical things that they had in that cabinet, like just something stupid like using the vice clamp.
Yep.
Yeah.
To hold her head were to hold his hand. You know, all the little stupid, simple things that they were able to reuse in that, and they didn't have to like go over the top by trying to finding a different way to do things. I think a lot of that was cool. Even the stupid, simple scene where he gets stabbed. What was it, in the ankle with the pencil?
Oh yeah.
It's
Cheryl.
Cheryl stabbed Shelley.
Yeah.
They did the names too close with those two.
Yeah.
But yeah. I looked like she was gonna get up and stab Ash, and then she just turns and right in the other one. And that was a gruesome scene.
That was good.
Mm-hmm. That looked fantastic.
Oh, the Time Prophet says actually the Evil Dead cabin was built in Morristown, Tennessee. Anybody live near there?
Well, there were two, because they said that there's also in one of the Carolinas, I think it's South Carolina. There was another one. I forgot which one was like destroyed. They said by lightning. I think it was just a chimney that was left.
It was burnt down by kids.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Little bastards.
But yeah, I don't remember where that one was. If that was the Tennessee one or the other one.
Oh my God! The Soul Assassin has a good idea. Ash, Tucker, and Dale versus Evil Dead.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's a great idea for a crossover.
Hell yeah. That movie was so good.
It really was.
I loved it. And that one kid, he lunged and he threw himself into the wood chipper. My God, that was horrible.
Oh, I love. Yeah, I could get into a conversation on that right now too. Okay, so
yeah, where were we?
I can't. I'm looking through my notes.
The Shining also kind of reminded me a little bit, you know, because in that movie, the way that you have everything going on, and then again with the house while you're going through your notes, the way that the cabin is, you know what I mean? Those are other, you know, now that I'm thinking about another movie that kind of came to mind.
Right. Well, on top of that too, I mean, like that movie got a push because what's his face there, Stephen King.
Yeah,
he saw it and he gave it high praise, and people were really curious what the hell this movie was. And so yeah, they said without his push, they don't know if it would have done as well as it did.
Yep, and then I think so that was for the first one, and then I think I want to say Carpenter said some nice things about the second one.
Nice. Yeah, that second one, man, he stood out. I mean, you could really tell he came into his own and became a real star there.
Yeah, he really did, because in the first one, it doesn't feel like Ash is a main character.
No, it's more like towards. Yeah, he's the one who survives, but at the end, it's like it looks like he gets possessed anyway.
Yeah, it looks like they got him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the very end, doesn't it? He's like out in the woods, and the spirits just come right at him, and it just bam, and that's how it ends.
Yeah, it went through the forest, through the back of the cabin, through the cabin, and then knocks down the front door. And as he turns around, boom, hits him.
Yep. Hey, Runner Blaze, nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
What's up?
What up, Runner? I think that is generally why they remade it. When they decided they were going to continue the franchise and they were going to do a second movie, because the first one really does, it ends with the idea that he's supposed to be dead. And I think they even talked about it on one of the DVD extras, where in the initial one, Ash is supposed to be dead, and that's supposed to be it. So they had to rewrite it to be able to continue the franchise.
Yep, that's exactly right. They intended for him to be dead.
Yeah, there weren't going to be any survivors.
Oh, and Time Prophet. There's no way that could ever happen. There's no way, because then it will really look like an Evil Dead cabin, because some of these pigs don't get along. I'm looking at you, Rorschach and Stripe.
There's going to be blood everywhere.
Right.
There would be. It'd be a mess. Matter of fact, the whole shit with Stripe not feeling well, supposed to be taking part in some of these horror discussions. Some bitch got sick, but he's feeling much better now. But I did notice that he's got a nick on the end of his nose, because him and Rorschach like to look at each other through the cages. and they try to like nibble at each other, I think, and I think Rorschach got him.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Well, see, Tommy, we told you not to feed them after midnight.
You talk about the evil dead, it's the evil pigs.
Yeah, right?
Squeak
Rorschach.
my dog, squeak my dog.
That's right, yes, all. That's right, yes, all. Swallow this.
Rorschach with a chainsaw.
Hey, I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul.
Swallow this.
So
Correct
great.
me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it the second one where he comes up with his catchphrase?
Groovy.
Yeah.
Groovy? Nope, that was in. That
was
was
that
in
in the first one?
Nope,
Army
second.
of Darkness.
Okay, it was the second one? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's after they
Groovy.
that scene.
Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
choppy for you guys?
No, it was smooth.
No, it was fine.
Straight through.
Okay. It on my end it was choppy. I don't know what the heck's going on with my.
No, the only thing choppy about that scene was the idea that a chainsaw would actually cut through a barrel of a shotgun that easy.
I know.
And even be able to idle without having a hand. You know what I mean? With a
Yeah.
hand missing and it rammed in there, but who cares? It's a great horror comedy movie.
It was fantastic. He was the real hero.
He's the hero we deserve and
Yeah.
the hero that we need in that horror.
But that, I mean, I don't know. Everything that kind of like led up to it just got better and better, that movie. From like, again, what happened with Linda, him going crazy like that. And then like that he really thinks that it's still messing with him when Bobby Joe is at the door and like and he shoots at it. And like the
Oh,
pacing
yeah.
too, like when he opens up that door and like you don't see anything. Then it pans back a little bit. He's lowering the gun. Then out of nowhere, you see like the guy jumps on top of him. Like that was great. And then that whole making it look like that, circumstances that didn't really happen. Like you see the chainsaw, you see the blood, and she's like, "Where are my parents? What'd you do?" And then like they're beating him up even more and throw him down the cellar.
Yeah.
I don't know. The way everything just kind of they laid it out was awesome. Like the story was fun. It was cool. Like you're cheering him on. You don't want to see him getting hurt. And then like as he's locked down there and they're listening to the recordings and the father's like, "I had to dispose of my wife. I buried her in the fruit cellar." And then you just like pop up out of the ground, Ted Raimi, and he's like, "Who's in my fruit cellar?" And he's screaming, "Get me out of here!"
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
Oh man, it really is such an awesome movie.
It is. It's so great. And then like they're realizing it too and struggling to get the door open. He's banging on it. And like every step, like the angles, like the way that he shot it too, I loved it. It's getting closer and closer, coming up the stairs, and then like he thinks he's gonna die, and they grab him by the head and pull him out.
Yes. That was so good.
It was.
Hey Stig, thanks for stopping by. Good to see
What's
you.
up, man?
And he's heading to bed, so sleep well.
Have a great night.
Later.
Yeah, and then Henrietta is grabbing Jake, the guy in the overalls, and then Ash comes over and they they end up stuffing Henrietta back down, and her head is still kind of there, like out of the cellar, and then they're
When he jumps
jumping
on
on it.
Yeah.
and then the eye pops out.
Yeah. That was excellent. And even the way they kick Henrietta's head to get it back down, like that was just so funny.
Oh, that was such a great moment.
Yeah, all that was
You know,
excellent.
you know that girl had spent way too much time in the back of somebody's 88, so she swallowed immediately.
I was surprised they didn't make her possessed right at that moment.
Well, she does end up getting possessed. It's like it takes like a couple of minutes.
No, I thought she's the one. No, she got pulled out into the forest. They try to recreate the scene like with his sister because she freaks out. Remember when like the spirit of her father?
Oh yes,
Pops
you're
up?
right. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. She ends up in the forest in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, she just gets like swallowed up by it because like, they kind of had like it was I don't know it was going through the skin in her face. Then it wrapped around her completely and dragged her whole body until like she hit a tree or whatever. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was like the last we saw of her.
Yeah, they changed the tree scene
Yeah.
in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Decepticons Cave of Comics and Toys, how you doing? Nice to see you, and thank you for stopping by. And yeah, he says he loves this movie. This is such a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
So good.
yeah, this one. That's why I didn't make a clip of that. And I was even like when I first saw Evil Dead 2, I thought that they were gonna recreate that scene, but they ended up doing it differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was wondering like what made them change their mind on that.
I think it's because of that, because they didn't want to get banned or have any other issues again with the ratings board, because they said they kept hitting it every time they made one of those movies. The rating boards would give them more and more trouble.
Yes, and I don't know if you saw it, but when you watch these movies, in the beginning of the movie, it says a Rosebud production or something like that. That's actually a shell company.
Yeah.
It's so that they can get around the ratings.
That's funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, I always took, you know how it took them a minute to get possessed in the second movie from time to time? I
Yeah.
always took like the first one, how it ends and he gets taken, is why, like, more so why the house is fucking with him even more in the second. And I know they had a bigger budget. Thank God they got a bigger budget for the second movie. And we got so much more in it. Because I honestly think that had they had a bigger budget, maybe it wouldn't have been quite the same to start with. We maybe would have got more stuff with a bigger budget. But again, I think the first one's perfect the way it is, even with the small budget. You know, I mean, they had next to nothing. And again, the amount, I mean, look at what we got. We ended up with 3 movies that, to me, I can't pick one that's any better than the last. You know what I mean? And then the series, same thing. Like for once, a complete series that kicks ass nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a horror genre as well, as I call it, you know, a horror comedy. So, you know.
Well, it's amazing what they did with half-hour episodes for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was so much that they put in there. There really was. And then, like, to have so much more extra backstory and things of that nature. The whole thing when they revisited his hand, like, that was amazing. Because, again, spoilers for those who didn't watch it, like, Lucille Wallace, her character, like, she uses that. She found his hand, and she uses it to direct her where the book is. And where Ash is, like, where this idiot, where'd he bring it? And it kept pointing to the direction of where it should be. But then by the end of, I think it was season 1, like, it's fully alive again, and it's making its way to the cabin before anyone else.
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love
dirty
that.
hand.
Yeah, Time Prophet says that Army of Darkness had the biggest budget, but it isn't the best movie. I think that's because there's which studio was involved with Army of Darkness?
Well, it was Dino De Laurentiis that he produced it. So whatever his company was with all that.
Okay. And he wasn't involved with Evil Dead 2?
No.
Okay. I think that's why I read something about why Army of Darkness is different. Yeah.
Yeah. It had to do with that stuff with the rights to the movie and everything.
Mm.
And they said, De
Oh.
Laurentiis, he was kind of notorious for he always had to have it his way, whatever it was. So if he butt heads with somebody, it's like he wanted to bury them.
Okay. And Runner Blaze is saying it was Universal. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it was Universal and through, well, they distributed it with him or whatever.
And Curtis, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. He says
What's up?
Tommy sent him. Thank you for sending him, Tommy. The guinea pigs carried him.
They built the ref.
Just got on top of each one after another. Then you have a guinea pig rope bridge. Each one climbs on top of the other like the monkeys and stuff. The old game and all that good stuff, Vinny. Yeah.
Oh shit.
You're one of the babies here, Vinny. So
Yeah, that's right. Fun University. Hello, thanks for coming. And he says, "Good job, Tommy."
I did nothing out of the ordinary. Everything is Stripe's fault. I blame him.
Okay, so Decepticon is asking, why does Tommy's guinea pig look like a sheep?
Sheep.
What, Cringer? How dare you, sir? Cringer would be highly offended if he wasn't stuffing his face in the food bowl right now. Oh, nice. Runner's going to meet Sam.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of my buddies met him a couple months ago.
Tell him we said hi.
Yeah, right?
That is
no,
awesome.
man, just throw him in your trunk and kidnap him and bring him with the Delta 88, yo.
Yeah. We'll tell him we say hello in person.
Yes.
Now, look, Sam, I like what you've done, but I got this movie about guinea pigs that I need you to get off the ground pronto. You see all these guys surrounding your toes right now? You ain't leaving here with all them digits unless you make an agreement with me right here, right now. Telling you, the evil piglets. It could work.
Right. Yeah, poor Runner. We're get to see him at Horror Hounds. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
That
his
poor
brother
guy.
Ivan is going to be there too.
That's cool.
Nice. That is awesome. Yeah, so we're still talking about the second movie. Oh, we're still in the beginning, aren't we? Well, we kind of jumped around actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've kind of, because we're talking, because there's so much love, and that's the thing when you're bouncing between, like we were just when you doubled up, which I think is the best way to do this, because you're gonna get so much more content and conversation, versus just one at a time. When it comes to the first and the second one, in my opinion. So because I mean, look at how many shoots we shot off of just something as simple as the differences between the two and what added and what was taken away.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? So
from the 5 people that went in, it was the 2 couples and Ashley's sister. So yeah, it was all of them in there, and then in part 2, it's just Ash with Linda,
Right.
and then the other ones they came in there, which was like the daughter, her guy, the one who helped them get there too, to do with the overalls, and his woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why they changed that part, because well, I guess to introduce Professor Nobi's daughter into the movie, but they didn't really do anything more with her, so yeah.
Well, they really couldn't.
Yeah.
But it does bring up the characters and stuff, and then when you end up with the series, how it adds to the movies as well. It doesn't take away from it. I don't feel that the series takes away from any of the movies.
No, not at all.
Oh,
and that's why it was so brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm really shocked over?
What's
You
that?
know, a lot of these other horror franchises wound up getting their own cartoon. How come Evil Dead didn't get a cartoon? You can't tell me that wouldn't have been hilarious.
They said that it might not be off the table.
Yeah.
They said that they might be doing one.
Wow.
I think they definitely have inspiration waiting for them with the Toony Terror stuff.
Oh yeah, that stuff was fantastic.
Well, with Hollywood shut down and all that bullshit, I mean, to be honest with you, Tommy, and when COVID happened, that would have been the perfect time for anime and something like that. I mean, who wouldn't want to? I mean, Trailer Park Boys was a lot of fun. Then they came out with the animated ones. Hey, that's great. Ash versus Evil Dead is a cartoon or anime. I mean, who doesn't want to see that?
Yeah.
Cartoon, yes. Anime, hell no. I cannot stand that art style. I just can't. Don't come at me. It's just a personal.
No, well, when I say cartoon, and I just mean it because some people like, to me, Looney Tunes is cartoons, Dragon Ball Z's anime.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But then I get yelled at for these things I say because I'm old and dumb. So
well, and there's definitely there's different levels of the
anime,
because I know the one she's talking about, and it's the super large eyes, tiny mouths, little girl heads on bodies that are like ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if you want to get technical though, Vinny, it's all anime.
It is, if you want to be technical, but I know those weird, creepy shit which she's thinking of.
Actually,
no, I know. What everybody considers anime now is, it's technically every cartoon out there is anime, because anime is nothing but a shortened hyphenation of animation. So, really, what they're really suggesting when they say anime is manga inspired drawings.
And over in Japan, they consider our cartoons anime because, like you said, it's just animation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought, I'm not sure. Soul Assassin is asking who owns the rights to Evil Dead.
Well, I know it's not New Line Cinema, because that's why the whole thing about him, they couldn't come to agreement to have Ash versus Freddy and Jason, because they wanted Ash to win, and New Line Cinema, it was either going to be Freddy or Jason all the way, since they own both of those franchises. So they couldn't come to an agreement, so they just went with Freddy versus Jason. But they did do it in the comics.
Yes, and they also did Freddy versus Jason versus Ash versus.
One of them had Leatherface in it. I know, I've got that book back there somewhere.
I think they did Mike Myers as well.
Yeah, Michael Myers. That's what. Yeah, I was drawing a complete blank. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so that's a good question, Soul Assassin. I'm not sure who's got the rights to it. Yeah, but as far as so like I did mention on the first movie how it's interesting, like you don't watch it and think like, oh, Bruce Campbell is the star of this film, but then on Evil Dead 2, you're watching it because of Bruce Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's awesome. I like that. It's fun. It's weird though. Like, why didn't they write it that way in the beginning?
I think again because they were all so young, and it was more of like a whole friend thing, like like this group of friends who basically
Okay.
Small budget too,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
super small budget. I bet dollar to dollar. And again, it was a blessing in disguise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At Fun University is saying the owner is Renaissance Pictures.
They own the comics, the print version.
Okay.
Okay.
They own the print version, but as far as the movies, there's a little bit of a problem with some of it. So originally it was Sam Raimi that flat out just owned everything, but he had to go into court and he had to sue over the rights for certain things, like Universal Pictures owns half of Army of Darkness and MGM owns the other half. So I mean, there's a bunch of gray area in there.
Yeah. And okay, wasn't Lionsgate involved as well?
I don't know.
Okay, so I just looked up the latest information. So apparently, whatever court proceedings that Sam Raimi went through, believe it or not, there's 3 people that own the rights to the Evil Dead franchise right now: Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Rob Tapper.
Okay.
All right, so they got it all back then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, because I know they said they wanted to make Evil Dead movies like every 2 years. They want to release another one.
Yeah. Curtis has an interesting comment. He says they missed an opportunity. They could have had alt cuts and have both endings. They could have sold it at higher prices for the collector case. And when they watch the Blu-ray /4K, it's the other ending to surprise the audience.
Yeah.
And they actually, now that they own their movies again, they own the property, they actually could go and do something new like that.
You could. I know Chris Fisk. He said he spliced the 2 movies together, 1 and 2.
Oh, really? He made his own cut?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. I said I would love to see that because
Yeah.
he does it from like I think he said like the point of when they find the book. I don't know. Like he said, there's a couple of things. The only thing I think was a little bit off. He said was the music.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, it's like a pretty damn awesome cut, and I'm like, oh, I would fucking love to see that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And Runner Blaze is a fan of the new Evil Dead movie.
We're so sorry for your loss, Runner.
No, we are
Sorry.
glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We are not fans of it, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it because you know what? Fans of it keep the franchise going.
Yep. Like I said, I loved all of their product up until that newest movie.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well.
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the things that we can all agree upon. Like, everybody can like whatever they choose to like.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Even if we give you shit, I've been giving Runner shit for a good number of years, so he understands my my sense of humor and how I take things that I don't like. But that's just me, Runner. You know that. But no, you know what? Everybody has their own way to be able to keep these franchises going, like you're saying, Trina. And I think, as long as there's interest generated, they are going to keep going back and make more of these things. Obviously, Bruce still has the love for this franchise as well as Raimi, or he, wouldn't even brought up the subject of continuing to make more of these things and possibly an animated series. So I think the only thing that changes is where do they go from this? Do they lean back more into the type of storytelling they did with the original 3? or did they lean more into the stuff that they're doing now with like different characters? I think the smart move is to lean back into the character of Ash, because that's where the love for this franchise is generated. I mean, obviously, you don't see a bunch of video games for Evil Dead Rise or the 2013 Evil Dead out there being talked about. Everybody still talks about the Evil Dead video game that came out with a voice work done by Bruce Campbell. So I think that's the direction they need to lean into. And if you want to introduce new characters, introduce it that way where it makes more sense and it's going to be a little bit more accepted by the old school fans, because you're not starting off by making this for the original fans of the franchise. Who are you making it for? You're making it for a much smaller audience. And all you wind up doing is creating a whole big hassle that you don't want to have to go to by going back and try to correct it with more movies.
Yep, absolutely, Tommy. Spot on, 100%.
Because that is the big issue, and that's why they made the TV series, because it's like, okay, well, people want more Bruce. They want more Ash. I mean, because you're right. That is what made this the franchise that it is. You take him out of there, you take that out of the equation. All right, then what's the angle? Where what are you going with? It has to be more horror based, because the comedy comes from him. The fun comes from him, you know?
Yeah, you end up with Halloween Ends, where you have a movie without a Michael Myers movie without Michael Myers, basically.
Yeah, terrible.
I mean, and that's awful. It's you know, like I don't know. Yeah, for me, I agree. Ash is Evil Dead. Like I don't know. I can't see it without Ash being in it.
Yeah. Well, he's Solar Warden. He did say he was done after they did that third season, because he was so pissed that like the fans bootlegged it. He goes, yeah, again, had the numbers been better, you know, they would have continued it. But more recently, he was showing love again towards it, and he says, listen, because people kept saying, will there be another movie? Will there be another movie? He said he's willing to do it as long as Sam is willing to come back to direct.
Yeah.
So that's good, but again, don't wait too fucking long, because he's 65 now.
Yeah, that's true. I gotta show you guys Time Prophet. He sent a guinea pig.
Oh.
That's cute.
That's great. It was like a Terminator guinea pig.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Oh, I love it.
That's fantastic.
Kano.
I'm pretty sure we've seen that pig before.
You know, that looks like a pretty infamous pig. Just saying. Might know a thing or two on a wanted poster.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I agree. Renner. I hope he returns as Ash as well. Yeah, if he doesn't, he doesn't. I mean, yeah, he's getting old, so.
But even if if this was it, again, that TV series was gold.
Yeah.
That was a chef's kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Soul Assassin, I want to thank you for dropping everybody's links. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, even better, Vinny, they left it wide open for a good movie or a good pickup spot where he's in the future. You know what I mean? Like, we've got a whole bunch of ground that got skipped because it was kind of a shitty ending, but it was an okay because it's Ash and you can fix it because we've seen him do it from the first and second movie.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, because well, here's the 2 things they could do. They could continue it in the future like that, or they could have him like wake up. You know, like he got knocked out, and this is all that ending was in his head, that he was this massive hero that he just took off of ice, and he's back to fight evil again.
Tommy Chong it. Here, take this. Oh, don't take that. Oh,
yeah,
this
right.
ain't the most acid I've ever seen anybody eat, man.
But especially like how crazy that the series got. But then like they had so much rich lore that was in there that they kept going back to, and like you said, it didn't mess with the rest of it. It didn't mess with the movies. It didn't change any of it. It only made it all better.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, they kind of proved it is when you've got the right people creating anyway, they can do those things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they let go of this property, like if they sell it to, I'm not even going to say the company, but if they
Yeah.
were, if they were
We
just
don't
like,
we don't talk about that company here.
yeah, I'm not, I am not cursing. I am not cursing it with that name, but yeah, like,
Oh boy.
stop it. It's too
They,
close.
they are not good boys.
No, they're not. Well, they're going down the shitter even faster, so that's a good thing. It looks like they're gonna have to sell off ABC News, a whole bunch of things.
Oh,
As they
that's
should
too
have to
bad.
anyway. This
Yeah.
monopoly stuff wasn't supposed to be allowed,
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. But yeah, as long as they keep control of this franchise, then it will remain good because they have done
Yeah.
such a great job for over 40 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that's the thing. It's from a place of passion. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
and obviously, Bruce Campbell was involved with NECA with doing some of those figures as well. He had to have been.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, right there, that's a passion of love for these people. I mean, obviously, Sam Raimi okayed it because him, Ash, and Tapper own the rights to the Evil Dead franchise.
Yep.
So everything that they're doing and redoing right now is all stuff that they're putting the stamp of approval on. And even with the newer stuff, with like the Toonie Terrors with those figures. So, I mean, obviously, there's still a passion that all of them feel about this franchise. So I think as long as they still have that passion and as long as the fans still have that passion, they'll probably continue to go back to this. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, if they're still having fun doing it, why not? I mean, it's the same reason we come on here to talk about these things because we're having fun doing it. The minute we're not having fun doing it, who wants to do it anymore then?
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And if the newer one lost money, and again, it doesn't have to lose big money. Let's say it didn't quite make what they wanted it to or whatever. They know what worked in the past. Bring back Ash. And if they don't know, hey, we're telling you what to do. Bring back Ash.
But no, Adam, no, that last movie did well. It made over $100 million.
Gotcha. Well, you had mentioned before, that's what they were doing, kind of open up like alternate universes. So again, hopefully it would still bring Ash back so that the older fans, because I mean, I know you're not the only ones that didn't like that newer movie. There were some I'd seen other, older people, and some younger that weren't really into, because again, they felt it was more just a horror movie than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there was someone even when they were screening it, what was it? South by Southwest, I think it was, where they were screening it, and there were fans there, seeing it for the first time. And there was a fan that got so upset that he was like cursing about it, and he walked off. And Bruce Campbell even spoke up and was like, why are you acting like that? What's, something like that. But it just goes to show you that we are definitely not the only ones that that didn't like it. Well, we're never the only ones. There's always there's always going to be like a fraction of people that don't like something that's popular and vice versa.
Well, I think another part of it too is when people come back to watch these franchises when they're rebooted or they're being sequeled. It's almost a sense of coming home. You want to see those characters that you're familiar with, that you've enjoyed in all the past movies. And when you don't get it, for a lot of people, that is just too big of a letdown for them.
Yep. Yeah, Soul Assassin has a link where Bruce has some words for that heckler. But I'm willing to bet that the heckler probably, because it kind of wasn't a measured response. He probably was maybe a little inebriated or something, but definitely did not like the movie. I mean, I wasn't that let down by the movie.
No. Yeah, because it's just a movie. I mean,
yeah.
there were some cool scenes here or there. I'll give them that. And like you said, we all said the opening looked great.
Yeah.
Wish we saw more of that, especially when she floated out of the water like that, and all right, like cool. how do we get there? But that's not how we got there. It was at the very, very end. You see the yuppie girl who, I guess she gets possessed. Okay. Well, what the hell? That would have been a better movie than just pivoting completely into these characters that no one gave a shit about.
Yes.
A single mother with 3 kids. One happens to, whatever, we'll get into that. But it's like, okay, why? This made no sense. And then the aunt who, again, randomness. It's just everything just felt so random. Okay, she's pregnant. Wow, whoop-de-doo. Like nothing made sense to the movie. It's just like we just want to just throw these statements out there, and you make what you want out of it. It's like, what? No, that's not a story. That's not anything. Who are we following? Who's the hero of this movie? What is going on here? Like none of it made sense. That's what threw me out of the movie completely. Because all the other ones, we're following certain characters. You're seeing what's going on. That 2013, why I was fine with it. And again, it had elements of that first movie of all these people who went to this cabin. But it was to help the one girl detox. Mm-hmm. You know, she wasn't a Mary Sue character. She's someone who's completely screwed up. She's the one who gets possessed. She's the one all that horrible stuff happens to. And then the other one's in there as well. And those were horrific scenes. The one girl's taking her arm off with the with that little
turkey carving.
The turkey carver. Yeah, like all that shit was crazy. You know, I don't know. I loved all those horrific moments. All the stuff they built in there, like it was good. But we were following one of the characters specifically, so that was like it all still made sense to me. This new one, none of it did. It's like, okay, are we following the aunt or are we following the kids? Or is it the mother who gets possessed? What's going on here? Like, it was so stupid. It's just like they wanted to throw everything at the wall and see what was trying to stick. And then at the very end, it's the one yuppie girl. Okay, so wait a minute. Now it's the yuppie girl and the credits roll. Could we just have seen like an abbreviated version of what was going down and how the book ends up getting into that girl's possession, or how she gets possessed because of the book? Could we chop that up a little bit and then you follow what happens from that lake scene? Because to me, at that end of that movie, it's like, okay, well, all the horrific things happened in that apartment building. The one yuppie girl, she's possessed. She goes over there. The other kids get killed. The beginning of that movie, it's still wide open. It's still like, okay, well, you're not continuing that story. Where's that story? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was dumb.
Yeah. Runablaze says he likes how it took a different approach. A lot of vibes from The Shining. Yeah, it definitely had The Shining vibes. I mean, like right out of The Shining, they get off the elevator and it's just the blood flow.
But to me, it just felt like some of the visuals that's the only really thing that I saw that has the vibes of The Shining, because the story wise it didn't.
Right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But even The Shining, we were following those characters. We were seeing like this guy who's getting tormented and haunted by the hotel, and then ultimately gets kind of possessed by it. Yeah. And his end is horrible. But it had a finale. And then if you fast forward to Dr. Sleep, especially if you're gonna watch the director's cut. I highly recommend that one. That movie was really good, and I like how they tied it all up as well. You know, like there was cool stuff. But again, there were stories there, and it went somewhere. That Evil Dead Rise, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the feeling I got from it when I watched it, and I went into it because I had read a lot of really negative reviews. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck, but I gotta see it. Mm-hmm. So I went into it not expecting anything, and then as I'm watching it, like the beginning seemed okay, and I'm like, all right, and then the whole middle was like, this does not feel like Evil Dead whatsoever. Nope. This to me just felt like a regular old possession movie. Mm-hmm. You could have taken the title Evil Dead right off it and named it anything else. Yeah. Like the possession of whatever the woman's name was, and it would have been fine.
You could have just called it Hotel California.
I mean, really, like it just didn't even feel. I don't know how. I don't know why it was an Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, they should have called it San Francisco Rises. Would have made perfect sense.
Yeah. They were possessed by the homeless guy who was he had hepatitis and fentanyl running through his system.
Turds by dawn, turds by dawn.
Yeah, he bit one of the people in the house, and they got sick, and then they got the rest of them all possessed.
Soul Assassin asks a good question. How many Necronomicons are there?
3.
I thought there were 3. Could there be more though? Since they're like you can open rifts to other timelines and stuff like that.
Is it just 3?
Awesome.
What about the one that apparently Jason's mother had?
Oh, I never saw the movie, so I don't know.
Because that is canon now. That is canon, so.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree,
Where'd she
Time
get it from?
Prophet. Yeah, that's a good question. Where'd she get it from? But I agree with Time Prophet saying that the new movie used too much CGI. Yeah, it definitely felt too modern.
Yeah. Because the one that Freddie Alvarez that he directed, the 2013 one, they had a ton of practical effects and it worked.
Yeah, you got to have practical effects in this series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the TV series, same deal. There was practical effects all over that. Then they used some CGI here or there to make certain things look really cool, but it was only to emphasize what they were doing with the practical. Yeah,
like there are times where you have to use CGI. You can't practical effects aren't going to do it. Right. Especially with high def cameras and stuff like that. It's there are some limitations. So I can understand CGI in some places, as long as it's like sparingly, and I definitely prefer the majority of it being practical effects, because that just I feel like horror needs that.
Yes.
Well, it should be in addition to, not a center focus.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's what a lot of these companies are doing. What a lot of these newer movies, they're making the CGI front and center, and that is the focus of the entire film.
Yeah, that's actually one of the gripes I had with the 2011 prequel. The Thing is, it's a very good movie, but I feel like the CGI makes it feel a little makes it feel like it's not a prequel to the 1981. You know what I mean? Because it's it feels modern.
Right.
But Runner Blaze says he didn't really notice the CGI. So, yeah, it's just a matter of perspective, I guess. Oh, okay. So Time Prophet is saying he notices bad CGI right away, as he does 3D modeling and animation. So it makes sense that he would pick up on something like that.
Yeah, it'll stand out.
Yeah. And you too, Vinny, where, you doing your art stuff, you'd have an eye for detail.
Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely see certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Chris, Chris, if I don't spot it out, or Chris does, there's stuff that we've talked about, and it's like, oh yeah, look, you could see either if it's an image, if it was photoshopped online, or if it was something in the film, it's like, yeah, you could see right there, and there's signs that definitely stick out, and okay, we see what they did.
Yeah. And Runner Blaze is saying that's why he hasn't seen the Thing prequel. Yeah, I understand that. It is a good movie. It's an awesome prequel for the original The Thing. But
it makes the original movie even better.
It really does. It adds a lot to it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand that CGI can be really off-putting.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Time Prophet. I actually forgot about that. But we did talk about that on the stream. He says that in the Thing prequel, they did it all with practical effects, and then the film company made them change it all to CGI. That's right.
Yeah. There was the documentary. I think did he send it, or was it Soul Assassin? I know we talked about it during that stream, but one of you guys or both of you guys, you were sending links to that. It was like a little like slight documentary, and they showed it. They showed all the cool stuff, and it looked incredible.
Yep. Yeah, the CGI, I mean, now I'm getting it mixed up. The practical effects that they were going to go with looked awesome.
They did. Like, especially when they had like the two guys merged. Like, that was so creepy looking.
Yep. But yeah, so do you guys have anything more you'd like to discuss about these movies, or any more thoughts on it?
I have a few. NECA, make some more toys. Make some more of this stuff from the Army of Darkness. You haven't really touched on that one yet. I mean, you've done the TV series, you did the first two movies. Let's get some Army of Darkness NECA style Ash figures, and maybe some of the other stuff. Let's get Evil Ash as well. That would be really cool.
Yeah, the only one they had was I think McFarlane had done one, and then I think they did one in their first like wave of figure. It was like the cult characters or the cult movies, whatever it was.
I do recall that one. I know Super 7 under the Reaction, they did the little 3 3/4 inch ones.
We need a proper one, and I want to get make them right.
Please.
We want more of those characters too. And how come they didn't hit more of the characters from the TV series either? Pablo and what's the chick's name again? I always forget it.
What is her name?
The brunette. Damn it. That's gonna drive me crazy. She kind of has an Amy Winehouse kind of look about her.
We'll just call her Jiggles.
But they were all great. Lucy Lawless's character, and you could do so many different looks for Lucy as well.
Yep.
From the different seasons, because she did have some big changes.
Kelly. Runner had it. Yeah.
Thanks, Runner. Yeah, Kelly. Come on, how do you not do that? Because they did a lot of good Ashes from there. Like they even did them from like the Crazy Bin when he had on like the straight jacket outfit. Like that was awesome. You have Ashy Slashy doll, like that was cool.
Yes, Ashy Slashy, and they did one of him in his store uniform, that red jacket.
Yep.
And then they had another one. I think it's maybe with his straight jacket and two of those little like minion Spawn kids.
Oh, it was a version. No, he had his blue shirt on, but they covered him in all that black gunk. One of those kids, like when they came out, they were spitting all over him. Like he was like, it looked like an oil slick. Like the figure was like dipped in oil. They did some crazy shit with him on that.
I'll tell you another thing that they could really do that would be awesome. I showed off that short, and I put a video up earlier about the Necronomicon books that they did for the movies. I never could find the Army of Darkness one, which still pisses me off. The only ones I've been able to find are Australian coded, so that they wouldn't work here. I wouldn't be able to play them. I mean, I'd have the book, but I just wouldn't have the movie. I mean, I guess I could always buy the book and then swap it out with an American coded movie, but what they should probably do is, I would think would be really cool if they did, is they re-released the first 3 movies in an oversized Necronomicon book. Maybe something with better latex this time that doesn't fall apart, with all 3 movies inside of it.
I will even pay extra for actual leather.
Yeah,
that would be really cool. Or even like a really, like some of the action figures Vinny has done, where they got that. It's kind of like a pleather material, but it's a little more solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like even something like that would be nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would be awesome. I gotta say that I get my final thoughts on this too, and it's more like the cool stuff about this series. Especially, all right, so the Evil Dead Part 2. How they did this whole thing with the ending, like everything about it was great. And that's again why I love how they did it with the series as well. That they ended like those pages, those lost pages that the father was saying, like, this is you have to make it physical, bring it to the physical world, and then you could ban it through this portal and send it back. Like that whole setup, how they did it was great.
Mhm.
How you see like the little Ash character that he fell from the sky. He's got the chainsaw in him and all that. And even Ash is like, yeah, well, it looks like he screwed up. Because their hero was supposed to vanquish evil and he didn't. And then, like ultimately, like how what it ended up happening, an Army of Darkness and all that. But like how they set it all up was great.
Yeah.
Even that he's the only one who got to see that evil firsthand. Because even the professor's daughter, when she was reading off everything, he tells her, "Don't look, just keep reading." And it affected him so much that he gets the gray streak in his hair.
Yes.
Because that happens to people if they get frightened enough. The hair changes like that. Like all that was so cool how they did it. And even like as she was heroic in what she did because she was able to finish the incantation or whatever, and looking she was dead, and then they're laughing that they won, and then like she gets up and still spits out like the 2 more words, and the portal takes it. And then like it can't close because she's dead. She can't read anymore of it. And it's like, how does it shut off? And then he goes flying back in time. Like all of that was great. Like the setup, how they did it, brilliant. Looking forward to talking about Army of Darkness as well, and kind of where we're going to head with that.
Yeah.
And then, do you know when we're going to start tackling the series?
Right after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep forging ahead with the Evil Dead series, and I figured that would be the best way to do it. Since just keep rolling with it until we're done.
Hell yeah!
Well, as long as you're not rolling.
I love the end of this movie. How it goes right into right into Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
I think that ending is awesome. How they're like, this is a deadite, we must slay him, and then he takes out the winged beast thing, and then they're like, hail this hero that fell from the sky, and
with Sam Raimi lifting his visor, and they did a voiceover on top of him.
Yep.
And he also gets a second name.
Yes.
Strange One.
Yep.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
That movie's excellent.
This is such a great movie. Whoever hasn't seen this, I can't imagine that there's very many of you out there, but whoever hasn't seen these, actually both of them, 1 and 2, go see them because these are just amazing movies. And then go see Army of Darkness because we'll be talking about that next week. And then watch the series because then we'll be talking about that the following week.
Are they still on Netflix?
The last I saw,
series I think is still on Stars.
let me look it up. I can't remember. Let's see. Stars.
Yeah, because it was a Stars original.
Yeah.
They said Hulu.
So you have access to it, Vinny, which means you know how to share it with everybody. If Trina doesn't, haha.
Nice. Well, I have the first season, and I have the 3rd season. I didn't have the 2nd season. I was waiting to get like a collected version. I passed one in Walmart, but it was just on DVD. I would want to get the Blu-ray, to be honest.
I've got the Blu-ray, all 3 seasons.
Nice.
You mean you, the lady that would shill for him, just shill for him, straight up shill for Bruce Campbell? No, never.
I was waiting to hear she's got the 4K. I was waiting to hear 4K. That's what I was waiting for.
I'm surprised. I have VHS. I have DVD. I have the limited edition laser disc.
I got the limited edition 4K that Bruce Campbell himself has spit on.
Oh, dude, if that was available.
Oh, if that was.
If that was, hey, Vinny, my plan would have worked out well had Bruce been at Horror Hound when we were there.
What was your plan?
Oh,
again?
yeah.
I was going to kidnap him and take him to.
Oh boy, that's not okay.
You know what I was going to do. You should remember. You know who I am and what I do. I make things happen. So you know it is what it is.
Fan.
That's right.
Time Prophet. I'm not sure if I saw that or not.
What?
My Name is Bruce.
Oh yeah, that movie was great.
I
like
can't
that
remember.
They filmed that one all on his property in Oregon. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but yeah, that movie was great.
They need to tie Evil Dead and Bubba Hotep together.
Oh, dude, yeah. Bubba Hotep is awesome.
That was so good. Such a great movie.
But yeah, it's so Adam, do you have anything more you want to say about the movies?
Just that now's the time, Bruce. Now's the time. We need good stories. We need somebody that gives a shit. The older generation here, I'm calling out to you, Bruce. We need you to make us some more movies or animated cartoons, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm down. You know, get your ass back to Horror Hound, man.
Yeah.
I know a certain lady that really, really wants to meet you, and you might have to pluck a hair from you, but I know she would faint if I did. But again, I am the same guy that said if I ever meet Tony Khan, I'm kicking him in the nuts now twice. So, and I'll do it. You know, I'll spend the time behind jail. ETEP will help bail me out. But yeah, at the end of the day, to me, again, this is just, I really wish like the drive-in would play, because we still have a drive-in theater here, because believe me, that would be a, hey, okay, we're coming to kidnap you and, you know, grab the kids, grab the husband. We're going to go to the drive-in theater and see this movie. You know, you're only a couple states away. You're not that far from me. But no, it would be nice, you know, if we could get that again. But when it comes to these movies, perfection, 10 out of 10. I don't care. The first, second, and third in the series, to me, now that is perfection in film. I love the way it's shot. I love the stories. Just, you know, the way that the music plays into it, the way that you have the scare of the horror without seeing anything, and wow, there it is. Next thing you know, Bruce is covered in something. You know,
Yeah.
You know, who doesn't want to get him full of sticky, bloody looking, you know, nightmarish stuff when you see Bruce Campbell? I mean, you almost just expect it, you know. But yeah, I love these, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. Because again, I to have the series, like I said, I got stars just for the series. You know, I was that fan that did that because I wanted to support it. That's what you do. Like if you pirated something like a Try Before You Buy, I get it, especially with movies today. But this wasn't something I questioned. The first movie, the second movie, to the third, to the series. Like I loved all of it, you know? So yeah, I'm just so happy to be here with you guys and being able to talk about something that I love. Because I'm not really big into horror movies. I mean, there's a few that I like, you know, they're mainly the classics and the olders. But this is one. Again, this is a horror comedy, you know, 101 horror comedy done right. Plenty of influences from classic movies, you know, even to the point that this movie has helped other people, you know, come up with other ideas for, you know, certain comics, Vinny, and other people, you know, with the way they shot films, you know, such an influence that to other creators, you know, that it's something that we're passionate about. We talk about it, you know, Vinny with, you know, In the Woods. So again, I mean, and that's somebody we know personally that sat here and said it himself, you know. So how you like them apples? You know? But no, thank you so much for having me on with you again, because this is such a pleasure. And now I've got a dog being a jackass, you know, because, you know, they're like, hey, it's our time. It's our time. But yeah, thank you so much again, you know, and anytime, you know, I'm available anytime to help out with this, and I'll make sure we hook you up like I hooked Vinny up, just if you need it. You know, we'll teach you how to do what we do with the wrestling. That way, if you ever wanted to have everybody together, we'd all meet up back here and, you know, watch together, you know, if there's time.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for being here, and you are welcome to join next week, and for the whole series. So yeah, this was a blast having you on.
Yeah.
And right
Sure.
now I'm showing Vinny meeting Bruce Campbell. Vinny's bragging right now.
Oh, Brett, we talked about it earlier. I thought I'd show you. If you see where my head is, there's a cast shadow over here. That's Ted Raimi, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the jerk off who took the photo. The guy who was working the line for them. Like he snapped it real quick and then like threw it back at me. I'm like, we didn't even get a good shot. Like, you dick. But yeah, I technically cut the line over here because I was in the back and I was just dropping off the artwork. I wasn't intending to meet him there. It's like I just wanted to give him some of the work. I said in case I just wanted to at least see him, shake his hand. And he called me over and he's like, "Oh, who did this?" 'Cause I have this little. There was a drawing right here of his face. I don't know where the high resolution is of this one, but yeah. So I gave him a gift. And he's like, "Oh, who did this? This is fantastic." And like, who do I make it out to? I'm like, "No, it's for you." Like I just there's a gift
for you.
There's a gift for you. But yeah, no, Bruce is awesome, super great guy. And yeah, he was gonna do his at the time he was doing like those kind of classic things that he's gonna put both fingers up, like pointing at me, like he's the man type of pose. And yeah, we didn't get a good shot because of the guy who took the photo, some scumbag. He just wanted to move the line.
Douchebag.
Well,
But I'm happy I did get to meet
Yeah.
him. And the crazy thing is, I couldn't make it on the Sunday to that show. It was a family emergency, and everyone who was like my neighbor at the convention, they said he came by on Sunday looking for me, that he wanted to talk to me more. I was like, I was like heartbroken.
Yeah.
So, but that's awesome though that he was even willing to,
Yeah, very.
He's a really good dude. And it's a shame though he never came back to that convention because the promoter kind of screwed him over and was trying to get him to sign more shit. And like, yeah, it's he kind of reneged and did stupid things with his with the contract that he had there for it. It's like, yeah, Bruce is a guy who doesn't take shit from people. So yeah, do the right thing, people. Come on now. But yeah, no, it was really awesome meeting him. Good dude. I'd love to meet him again at some point and actually have a proper conversation and not just a couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frankie is professing innocence. He did not take that photo. He was working.
No, he did not. No. I said the guy who took the photo was the not security, but somebody who was working the line because Bruce had a line that was out the door. It was crazy. It was like wrapped around. That's why I said, when I stopped by, I'm like, "Is it cool if we take a photo?" He's like, "I'm cool with it." And he pointed down the line. He goes, "I don't know how cool they're going to be with it, but I'm willing to do it. Let's take the photo."
Oh, Time Prophet, that's a good one. Time Prophet asked Vinny, did Bruce get your autograph?
He did. He did. I signed a couple of pieces for him there, and that's what I gave him. That's why he called me over. He wanted to know who did the artwork. I left him a print of the Alice in Wonderland that's on the cover to my the second art book. Yeah. And I gave him like that cool kind of like a cartoony version of him, like a headshot of him. So that was awesome. Yeah, he was actually filming Burn Notice. That's why he was in that area. And they got him for the show.
Yeah, so he's wearing a shirt like he does on Burn Notice.
Yep. He most certainly
awesome.
Is. That was a great series too, by the way.
Yep. He made that series.
Oh yeah, he did. He's the only reason why I watched it. I was on a plane.
Yep.
I was JetBlue, and they have like a handful of channels. And I'm like, what the hell show is that? That's Bruce Campbell.
See, that's a complete opposite for me. I was actually watching a show before he arrived on the series.
Nice. Well, no, I saw it. I think it was season 2.
Wait, I thought he was there from the first episode.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't? I thought he was too.
What?
I ended up getting the whole series. Like I have them all. Pretty sure it's
cool.
But no, he was on the first season, but I don't remember if he was there from episode 1 or not.
I thought he was.
I thought he was too, because he mentions him like right off the bat, because they kind of like they clashed.
Yeah.
because he was his handler when he was in the agency, and then he went rogue too.
I remember him promoting it, and that's the only reason I watched it. I just don't remember where the hell I saw him promoting it, and I can't remember if it was right at the beginning or not because I was working and whatnot. But I remember I saw something where he was on a late night show talking about it. And it was Burn Notice on USA Network.
Nice. Yeah, because when I watched it, when I first saw it, I was on a plane. And it was like season 2, so I'm like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" And I went back and I looked for it.
Yeah, Frankie Nose says, I thought Bruce was a main star of Burn Notice. He should have been. To me, he was. I don't feel like Michael Weston or that or Fiona was. I mean, they were good.
Yeah.
They were good actors, and everything. But I feel like Bruce was really the presence of the show.
Sure.
But yeah, because he's just an awesome actor. He has that presence.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, that's awesome that this is still an awesome picture, even if it's not like the angle you preferred or whatever. It's more of, hey, I don't have a picture of me with Bruce Campbell, so
I mean, it's literally perfect because it's imperfect. You know what I mean? Like, to me, everybody has a good picture, right? Like when you pay, like this here, Vinny, to me, this is what I would want a print of, and then you could sign it. And then when I go meet him, I'll have him sign it, and then I'll get it back to you. That's the kind of shit that I would do. You know what I mean? That would be
cool.
That's the kind of guy I am, because the fact it isn't perfect, but the fact that you're like, oh, I mean, I got to meet him, and it's a great story. But then that would be, this fucker right here, the guy that gave you some artwork and he wasn't there that Sunday because you thought he was a dick. No, he wasn't a dick. He had family. But you know what I mean? Just to mess with you, Vinny. We love you, buddy. But I would literally ask you to send me, let me have a copy of that to make a print. I'd get 2 of them, and then have it, and have it signed for him, and then he'd have one and you'd have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be cool. That would be cool. And I do have a mutual friend with Bruce. So that actress.
Cool.
So I mean, at some point, I missed that last convention that she was at, and she was right next to Sam Raimi too, and I was irate because I didn't know. I had no clue. My buddy knew, and he told me after the fact. I'm like, what the dude? I would have been there. I would have went with you. But anyway. At some point, I'm sure we'll meet again and able to have a good conversation.
All of a sudden, we all roll up the new Wakulian order. There's like 50 of us. There's Bruce. We're like, get in the car. We're going for a ride.
All you gotta say is I got some pot, and he'll probably jump in.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Hey, we got edibles, man. We got some Cheech and Chong this, some Blues Brothers that. So we're gonna party? Yes. That's all you had to say, sonny boy.
Well, he lives in Oregon, so he's got access to whatever the hell he wants.
Oh yeah.
He's come out with his own product. That would be hilarious. Could you imagine Evil Dead gummies?
Oh, dude, great.
And I mean, this doesn't have to be cannabis, right? I just mean period. Yeah, the cannabis part would be great, but I mean, like, you've got your Gushers fruit snacks, and you've got whatever off-brand, and then you've got Evil Dead.
Yes.
Trademark right here.
That would be amazing.
Frankie said it. He was in the pilot episode as well.
Well, I think
so, but it's been so long ago.
Yeah.
We recently watched that series because I didn't watch it when it first came out. It didn't look like something I would be interested in, and then recently I was like, yeah, okay, let's give it a try. Because, I mean, it is Bruce Campbell. And I'm glad I did because he was awesome in it.
Yeah. He was really great. Yeah, I love they even gave like a spin-off movie from that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because he got into better shape again when he did it.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, gummy chainsaws. That would be awesome.
That would be.
And like gummy boomsticks.
Yeah, and Book of the Dead, a little gummy.
Dead, little ashies, the stuffed animal.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we really need to make this happen.
I'm telling you. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way, baby.
Mm-hmm. You are
My
correct.
boomstick.
See, Runner is definitely signing off on it too. But yeah, this was so much fun, guys. This, we all love this franchise, so I knew this conversation would be awesome, and yeah, this stream was a lot of fun. I want to thank you guys for being here, and thank you all in the chat for being here as well. Like I said, next week we'll be covering Army of Darkness, so that's going to be fun as well. But since Adam is our guest of the evening, let's let him go first and tell us what you got going on.
All right, so I put in the chat. My sister, Chef Carolyn, she is literally a Chef Nation, has a little channel known as Black Death Gaming, and her and a couple friends play video games, and they only need some subs here to get help her get monetized. So that's it. That's why I'm trying to help promote her as well. She need 138 subs to get to the 500, and the watch hours. But they play all kinds of video games, and here's the perk, right? So back with Frank and the Clan, it used to be if he got a blue wrench when he built his Death Star and blew up the Earth, you got to come on his Death Star. Well, the gig here is if we get to 500, then I will actually be on and actually playing games with them. And, we'll play like some old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or like The Simpsons or the kind of games that I can play. Cause, I'm not so good with the newer ones and all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's the payoff. That's the, if I help get them up to 500, so yeah, that's what I will be promoting. And plus, it's my sister, man. It's
Nice.
one of those, we found each other on here, became great friends. And, just like you guys, we're all like one big happy family. But we bonded over the crappy Star Wars movie. You can also catch me, of course, with Etepiculian's Place to Be reviews. They're on right now for Holy Shit News, which I'll probably jump on over after this. And then, of course, with Vinny and Tommy, which I don't need to plug them because those guys are here, so they can plug themselves. Giggity. But, and they'll be right back here next week. So, yeah, every now and again, I might actually do some gameplay or bring Old Man Talk back, but probably going to be in about another month when I've got more funds saved up so that I can go on Rumble because that's the place to be where you can talk freely. Might make a pit stop here and there on the men's room too. They could use a little bit of love, so help the guys out. I was with those fellas for 2 years before moving on up to here with all of you. So again, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to be here with everybody in the chat. You rock. Thank you all, and God bless.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Glad to have you. Real quick before I go to Vinny or Tommy, Time Prophet says that the bridge looks like Freddy Krueger's claws. And what's funny is that there's actually an Easter egg in the cabin in Evil Dead 2. Not the cabin, the tool shed. There's a Freddy glove in that cabin hanging up.
That's right. I forgot completely. Yeah.
Yep. I forgot it too until Time Prophet said that. I was like, oh yeah. So the universes are not connected. That's been confirmed. It was just kind of like a fun thing that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Some back and forth between the producers and whatnot.
Yep.
But Tommy has been having some internet issues, so I'm going to go with him first. Tommy, what's going on with you?
Well, I'm a little effed in the head right now, and
it's just a shame that your guinea pig had to be a homicidal maniac like Jack Frost.
Okay. Wait. Okay, there we go. All right, Vinny.
oh shit.
Tell everybody what you got going on.
Well, tomorrow night, I'll be hosting the toy stream, and we got some cool figures to show off. I put up a lot of shorts recently. I'm gonna try to film something as well. If I can make some time, either tonight or tomorrow, I'll have something else really cool out there. I don't know if I'm going to bump one of the figures I was going to review in favor of another one. we'll see, because I kind of hinted at something last week that I was gonna shoot one of the older ones that I found, which is a beautiful piece, but it's more like a statue. But I don't know. We'll see what I have time for. But yeah, that's Vinny Art on YouTube. Go support. Go check me out over there. I could do more art streams and stuff. I have been posting up more artwork from City of Venus too. Go take a look at the shorts and stuff. I don't know about the art classes. For some reason, they don't get any traction whatsoever anymore. But YouTube is just a mess. So I don't know. I'll be playing around with some other things because I'm having more fun on Rumble anyway. And if they don't remonetize me on YouTube, then what is the point of staying there, to be quite honest?
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know. I might throw like some regular crappy content. Well, not like regular okay content. Nothing political. Nothing of that nature. Because they're trying to hit everybody, and they with any excuse just because they don't want you to speak, and they don't want any of the smaller channels. They only want their big channels that are gonna abide by what the government wants out there, and that's the sad thing. Control is getting even worse.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Rumble might be the place to keep that kind of stuff going. But yeah, again, working on City of Venus too. I got a couple more pages drawn up and inked up. Be doing some more painting and coloring soon. I can't wait for you guys and girls to check all that stuff out. Again, you can still get my books. They all ship immediately. Through the Woods. Again, there's definitely flavors of, and it was inspired by, in visually in some good ways from Evil Dead. I'd say that for sure. Again, it's like it's Cabin in the Woods. There's ghost elements. There's this awesome stuff in there. Check it out. It's a complete series. One of the best independent comic books out there, bar none. You want high quality, hardcover, 100 pages. It's larger than your standard comic book. It's beautiful. It's got a European format, and who doesn't like that? So jump on it. You're gonna love it. Shadow of the Kraken. If you want another cool, awesome, dark story, that one's got pirates. Jump on all this great stuff. I'm going to be putting out more awesome comic books, more fun stuff. So tune in. And again, Fridays and Sundays is where you catch my main streams. Thank you everyone here. Thank you, Trina, Tommy, Adam, everyone in chat. Love you all.
Yes. And good night time, Prophet. Thanks for being here, and thanks for all your comments. And the whole chat, you guys are just absolutely amazing. I love you guys. You're so awesome with your comments. You keep the conversation going. I appreciate every single one of you being here. You could be anywhere, any of the million channels on YouTube, and you decided to tune in here, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. True. But I hope you all have a great night, a great weekend, and we'll catch you next week. It should be fun.
Well, Trina, if they do catch this, and when they do, they chose correctly.
Yes, absolutely. All right, everybody, have a good one.
Bye.